Welcome everybody. So we are here today to discuss about synthetic biology, and this is our second webinar covering that subject. And we have had a successful outing with our last batch, and many students got their certificates and a wealth of knowledge in this new scientific area that we are uncovering in Sri Lanka with elearning.lk. So as elearning.lk, we are here to bring you the cutting edge of new technology and science knowledge. And to do that, we have today here with us Dr. Lalinka Herath. So I welcome Dr. Lalinka to the session. Can you put on your, cool.
Yeah. Hi,
Okay,
Sanjay.
right, cool. Okay, Lalinka, so let's delve into our previous batch a little bit. Tell me more about the experience you had with the students and what were you able to convey to them and what were the outcomes for the students in this particular course?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sanjay, and very good evening. Very good evening, everybody. Uh, of course, I had a great time with conducting our synthetic biology program through the first batch we took in with the learning.k. Yeah. So it was wonderful. The experience was wonderful, and uh, even to conduct a program online on synthetic biology that has not happened before in Sri Lanka, Sanjay, as we have previously discussed. So even I went through a new experience by conducting the course itself, and students were very much engaging and they were excited too. We had the best crowd as our first batch, and even the communicating the knowledge on synthetic biology. Uh, it's a new topic for them and even for the academics. And it's an emerging topic as well in biology. So, what we actually had was it was a unique journey, even together with my students. And we listed out, we accumulated the knowledge under certain areas, what synthetic biology means and how it emerged from existing molecular biological concepts, and then via recombinant DNA technologies, theories, and then genetic
Lalinka, can
engineering.
we get the mic closer to your mouth a
Yeah,
little bit? I
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kindly hold it like that. It goes away.
For sure. Yeah, right. Okay, Sanjay. Right. Yeah, it's like how it evolved and then how we could actually how it deviates from classical biological concepts, and then how we could integrate it with some other areas, like some other specialties can be integrated in synthetic biology, defining synthetic biology as a topic. So those things we discussed initially, and then I have my presentation as that I want to go through and
Yeah.
share with our new
Okay.
who are interested in joining
Okay.
with us. Yeah,
We have a lot of people joining already.
yeah,
So I'll ask you one more question and we'll move into the session. We'll move into the presentation. So you
yeah,
are currently working on two main researches. One is a gene-based data bank, data storage technology, and the
yeah,
other one is a glow in the dark tree. So
yeah,
hopefully we would be able to see instead of lamps or any other lights in Colombo, there should be trees glowing and providing us with light in the night, in the dusk, in the noon, in the morning, in the very early morning. So is it possible? Is it a reality, or is it just a small plant in a lab somewhere? Is it a
yeah.
reality in the larger sense?
Yeah, to elaborate on that, Sanjay, when it comes to glow in the dark plants topic, which means we can make the plants glowing with synthetic biology technique, but
Again, you have to put the mic
the
closer.
glow is not that much high, but still there are ways that we can enhance the brightness of the glow. There
Mhm.
are research going on into that area. But
Mhm.
the smaller organisms like algae and also like certain other microorganisms, we can make them glowing really bright. So in
Mhm.
that case, there are concepts like the liquid tree concept, which means we grow bacteria and algae in a liquid,
Mhm.
and then we can encapsulate them in a kind of tunnel,
Mhm.
and then replace the concept of plants which are glowing
Ah.
alongside the street. So that's one way we can bring the technology to the real world.
So
And
it's like a transparent tunnel or a tube which
tube,
is glowing with small tiny algae. So it's like a network of tubes in
tube,
various different ways. Maybe
yeah,
it could be used as a decoration or as a lighting instrument,
yeah,
or
like
even
that.
around surrounding the Bear Lake also, right?
Tube, yeah. Even in to light up the streets in Port City, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a great
also,
idea. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
so let's hope
one
to see that from Sri Lankan scientists, that particular technology comes out soon. And I'm giving you the stage, and a lot of students are here. So, students, pay attention. This is where we're going to learn a new subject. It's called synthetic biology, and most of you are probably already associated with the university in the biology area. So, this particular knowledge is helpful to bridge the gap between the actual what is taught in the basic, or what you call it, the theoretical science, as well as what is out there in the industry, so that we are bridging that gap. So it is easier for you to, in the new age, to do something new with the technology that is available for us today. So yeah, take the stage, and it's up to you. And I will be back regarding to tell you on how to connect with the course after you are halfway through this particular session on learning the introductions to synthetic biology.
All right. Thanks again, Sanjay. Yeah. So, okay. Again, very welcome everybody to our session on synthetic biology, which is the kind of first introductory session uh, after our first batch of synthetic biology, introduction to synthetic biology course that we conducted at e-learning, as most of you all are aware of. And I want to thank you all first for joining in numbers, even if there's a cricket match happening now.
Don't remind it. They
Yeah,
might
that
not know that.
it was in my mind while mentioning that. No, let's see whether they retain or not, Sanjay. Even if
Okay,
it
okay, cool.
mentioned, yeah.
Make sure
There,
you hold
there
the
are,
mic, otherwise it's unclear.
yeah. I know.
Shall we try the other mic on the device? You have a laptop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Let me try if it's not
Yeah,
clear.
change
Yeah,
the audio
for
input.
sure, Sanjay. Right. Is it better now, Sanjay?
It's far better. Yeah, use that.
Great. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you very much, everybody. So I'll quickly start going through our kind of introductory session on synthetic biology. I know you're like excited to hear what synthetic biology means and how it can be integrated with other technologies in order to come up with proceeded towards the applied science aspects. Right. Hope you all can see my screen now. And
Guys, let's give some sort of a message that you are with us. Shall we get a hand raise or something, a hi in the chat?
yes, please. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, you can carry on, Lalinka.
Okay, sure. Okay, Sanjay. Right. Again, I'm going to have to share this because I want to make sure that I share the, yeah, it's there. Right. Okay. So before I start move on to my presentation on synthetic biology this evening, guys, I would like to play a small video and then start the session. Uh,
At the very frontier of emerging biotechnologies is synthetic biology, putting living systems together at all scales to solve problems, bring to market new products, and better understand life in the process. Anything we can learn to encode in DNA, the molecule inside all life, could be grown when and where needed. Biology itself has already learned and provides for precision growth of foods, materials, medicines, fuels, and more. For example, synthetic biology is being used to create more climate-resilient and nutritious crops by learning to reprogram how roots branch out or dive deep into soil in search of water. turning to medicine, synthetic biology promises skin creams that provide protection like vaccines, but without any needles. And new approaches to disease diagnostics that work with the human body so that anyone can know if they are sick or healthy. Yet with all of synthetic biology's promises and upsides, there is no shortage of cultural, economic, and security challenges. Modifying human cells and abilities, patenting DNA sequences, and the notion of creating new life represent very real and ongoing ethical concerns. We must also learn to navigate a world in which other nations, including China, have long made emerging biotechnologies a national priority. By developing and advancing comprehensive strategies for biotechnology, complemented by sustained and strategic investment, the U.S. has an opportunity to foster and lead responsible change towards societal and economic advancement. Strategic partnerships among private and public sector actors is more necessary than ever to sustain research and development, develop technical standards, make real our nation's positive biosecurity vision, and wisely apply synthetic biology to the betterment of our lives and environment, all without losing our competitive edge.
Okay, everybody. So this is a small clip, video clip on synthetic biology that was created by the Stanford University Synthetic Biology Group in order to showcase how important synthetic biology as a emerging subject area, like to integrate with economy and then to develop their economy, make it economical power by integrating these synthetic biological applications into their ongoing strategies. And this is how they in the US, they showcase the synthetic biology program that they have designed for their internal students. So I just wanted to share this and start to see where the world goes with synthetic biology related topics, and even we have to start the conversation among us where we are now as a country in order to kind of absorb this knowledge into our country, right? And we are responsible as biological science students to transfer this knowledge real time into our ecosystem as well, right? Okay, then. So now we want to get a small idea about what synthetic biology means initially in today's session. Okay.
At the very
I want to give a idea about what synthetic biology means initially, and then you all can get an idea as biological science students. Mostly you're from biological science background, and then think how you can deviate or how you can project your upcoming plans, whether to practice these tools and then become specializing these areas to enhance your career after in future endeavors. Right. So let's ask the question what synthetic biology means initially. So basically, by the definition or the way we define this area is that you can call the synthetic biology is the sub area of biology or the molecular biology that we apply certain theories in reprogramming or reinventing life. So if you want to, basically, you are going to change the life under these topics by applying the concepts in synthetic biology topic. Changing in the sense you can introduce new attributes into life. Also, you can maybe slightly alter the existing characteristics of biological organisms in the sense in animals and as well as in plants. You can maybe change and improve characteristics and also bring entirely new characteristics into biological organisms. Idea is to make them beneficial for humanity with our day-to-day activities. So how to attempt or how to approach these changes in biological system? We know as biological science students, it's a bit new, the concepts in engineering that we haven't learned. The engineering students or the mathematical science background student learn the concepts in engineering where they want to train their brain in the way that they have to think how they can design new things. Engineering is constructing something new based on existing things. So that's how the engineering as a area it's emerged, or the principles lies in engineering. Now, when it comes to synthetic biology, because we want to engineer new things in biological systems now, we want to also need to, as biological science students, learn the basic concepts in engineering. And then how we can adopt those concepts into biological science theories, or blend them with biological science theories and bring out a new organisms or new lives. So therefore, the basic principles in engineering, like designing principle. In engineering, they need to design things. Here also, now we want to design biology. And once designed, what we have to do is something designed, next step is to build it. So we want to understand whether we can design something biologically and then whether we can build that stuff. Or we can create devices. Whether we can create devices when it comes to electronic engineering theories, guys. They design devices for various aspects in electronic devices. There's a lot of examples which are devices that helps us in our day-to-day life to make our life easy. Now, whether we can make devices, let's say it's a sensing device, you want to sense something. Maybe you want to sense environmental pollution using a device. Same concepts can be applied in biological science to understand whether you can come up with a device, biological device, to detect something. So you can call them a sensor or a biosensor. And whether you can combine existing systems and come up with new systems. The best part here is that so these systems, device, and new biological parts that you develop, design in synthetic biology, never existed in nature. So that's where the engineering part has come into act, because you have designed something new based on the existing component. Right. So how to design biology? To design biology, as biological science students, we know that the information about biological systems are stored in a special molecule known as the DNA molecule. Now, if you can access the information in DNA molecule, which means you can basically read the information about life, no matter it plants or it's animal, you can access the information in DNA and then read it. So if you can read it, you know that's where the information stored in biological system. If you can find tools to change this information, which means you can basically engineer DNA, or we call it the genetic features can be engineered. So that's how the topic genetic engineering established as a biological science topic inside of a biological science. Now, if you construct these new genetic systems by changing information in DNA, you can actually come up with entirely new life forms. Because you change DNA, it ultimately affects the proteins produced by DNA. These proteins can perform new functions inside of our body. Also, you can now redesign organism with novel function which never existed inside of the biological system. So this is how we understand what we are basically doing in synthetic biological. Right. So now I want you to focus on this aspect. Even if we are biologists, right? I know you guys hate a bit the theories in mathematics, in engineering, but it's really interesting how we can adopt the theories in engineering into biology and then create new organisms. inside of biology. We know we are trained to read and memorize a lot of stuff when it comes to biology. Now, this is the creative part in biology, guys, where you apply change in theories. You know what exists. Now, we are applying engineering concepts in biology in order to change information. Right. So, I'm going to have to share this basic, these fundamental concepts in engineering with you all, which is one of the key concepts in synthetic biology, because we are going to have synthesized biology here in synthetic biology. To synthesize biology, we need to change, we need to engineering information. So this design, build, test, learn cycle is something that engineering students learn in applying, in designing new devices, maybe new systems, and or designing new constructions. They have to undergo, they have to apply this cycle into their newly development plan. So what we are going to do here is we are going to adapt the same concept, which is DBTL cycle, that we call the design, build, test, learn cycle to biological system. And then we want to see whether we can come up with new attributes in biological system. So how to apply this, how to understand this, guys, how to split into certain component and understand this cycle in biology, how to integrate this theory into biology. Right. Design, build, test, learn cycle. This deviates. You might have heard about the genetic engineering. So this deviate from a basic molecular biology knowledge as a guide. So here we mirror the traditional engineering discipline in biological system. At the same time, we apply computer science theories as well in designing biological systems. Right, in designing stage, what we basically need to do in biological system is that we have to conceptualize a new biological system, which means you think about new biological system. You have a problem in biology or the environment. You have a contaminated water sample that you want to detect heavy metal in that contaminated water sample. Now, your idea is to engineer a small bacteria that can detect the presence of these heavy metals in contaminated water sample. So now you think about how you could design. So how you could design a bacteria to detect heavy metal. So you need a sensor based on this small bacteria, which is genetically engineered. What you could do is you can make your bacteria glow, maybe to produce a color or to produce a fluorescent signal in the presence of heavy metals in a contaminated sample. So that's a basic idea, that you can design a sensor, biosensor, applying these designing concepts in biology, guys. Right. Basically, the conceptualized biological system, and you predict how they behave using computational models, happens at the stage of designing stage in synthetic biology. Later, you have to build this, actually build these organisms that you have newly conceptualized. So in that case, you can construct custom gene circuits. We will learn in upcoming lessons, if you are interested in joining our program, everybody, how to design gene circuits in the biological systems, and then synthesize these gene circuits and introduce these synthesized DNA into biological system. Then you have to test it, how it actually works in real world application. And by testing it, we learn how it actually works in the real world application. So you want to get an idea about this design, build, test, and learn cycle initially when it comes to synthetic biology. Right. So I'll share, I don't want to teach advanced concepts in today's session, because we want to get an idea initially what synthetic biology means in today's session. Relax and sit back and relax and get an idea. You might have heard about these techniques in biology, guys. There are techniques called DNA sequencing techniques. Sequencing stands for the ability to read the ATGC order of DNA sequence and understand what's written in DNA. And there are synthesizing techniques as well, which means we can chemically produce new DNA compound. And when it comes to synthetic biology, you have a new concept called biobrick concept as well. I will later let you know, which means the DNA's behavior we can standardize and assign some function to DNA components and see whether you can use it later in designing new biological system. Like you build a house with bricks in engineering constructions, here we can design new organisms by using biobricks, biological bricks, which are DNA components. So we learn what are biobricks and how biobricks works as well in synthetic biology. Right. Okay, let's go back to the history, a bit of history. It's not the history that you learn in other topics when it comes to synthetic biology. Back in 1950 or something. This is very new. This topic is very new, guys. The first biological system, which is a synthetic cell, cell is the basic unit of life, was developed back in 2010, recent past, right? So it was done by a great scientist known as Craig Venter. So the people were arguing whether, yes, there's the engineering concepts, there's biology. Whether we can, of course, you can conceptualize and merge the theories in biology and engineering, but whether it's realistic, that was the first problem or the argument or the debate among the scientists in biology. Can we actually combine these concepts and design new organisms that actually function in the environment? So this scientist proved that this is possible, this is realistic, that we can design new DNA and then incorporate it into new organism and then let it perform functions inside of a new biological system. He actually designed synthetic genome. You know what genome means if you are a biological science student, which means entire set of genes in a biological system that you call as the genome. So this scientist was able to produce a new bacteria that carried entirely newly synthesized DNA component in an E. coli bacterial cells, and he actually demonstrated the biological systems can be designed back in 2010. So that's when the synthetic biology got the recognition as area where biology can be designed, biology can be created, or we can actually apply them in environmental, health, and agriculture application as well. Okay, everybody. Right. So let's take a little tour in the area of application, whether we can, what sort of applications we can consider by designing. The idea here is to help humanity, to help our life, to carry our life easier, day-to-day life, make the life easier. So we need medicine. We know to recover from certain diseases, we need medicine. We have traditional medicines that cure certain diseases. Now, how we can apply the concepts in synthetic biology in order to develop new medicines that help us recover from certain diseases. As example, we can engineer small organisms to biologically produce the pharmaceutical drugs that required in chemically producing in chemical factories. We can design new biological system by changing their DNA in order to produce new protein that helps cure malaria-like diseases. Or we can develop bacteria in order to produce insulins-like proteins. So these proteins can later use in diabetes-like disease condition. Think about environmental solutions, guys. You go to, as I previously mentioned also, you can design new biological organisms that they eat microplastic in contaminated water samples. By changing their DNA, you can make it capable of eating microplastic in contaminated water samples. And you can design new organisms to plants, maybe to plants. You engineer a new plant in order to capture excess carbon dioxide in environment and then remove it. And also you can design small bacteria to reduce heavy metals in contaminated water samples. And you can develop new animals to produce probiotic in their milk. Likewise, it does broad range of application when it comes to synthetic biology, uh, realistic applications can. Right. Right, the idea of xenobiology and artificial life is a part of synthetic biology. Xenobiology discuss creating alternative genetic systems. What do you mean by alternative genetic systems? There are genetics, the genetic that we know as biological students, science students, does DNA in our nucleus in the cell, and it comprises of 4 letters: adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. So that's the nature's code, the nature's language of storing information in DNA using 4 letters. What if could change the language? Let's say you can consider 6-base pair language and come up with a new language in DNA and store even more information. In that way, you can think of writing more and more new information in biological system. So that's the debate in xenobiology topic. And artificial life, does life that we see in the nature, whether we could develop entirely new organisms, like you could maybe say alien life can be written, artificially developed, and then see whether you can grow them in real world application and get some work done out of these newly developed organisms. The idea is that you engineer new information at DNA level and come up with new organisms. So this is the futuristic discussions when it comes to synthetic biology topic, which is the emerging latest aspect of molecular biology, genetic engineering, and also the recombinant DNA technology that you learn in your courses. Okay, right. So here, as we discussed, the idea is to come up with new organisms that perform interesting function. But since even if we could change information and come up with new organisms, whether we should do that, because nature always has the perfect balance that we see in any kind of scenario. Now, if we change something, if we come up with new organism and introduce that organism into environment, how this new organism could fit into existing ecosystem? Would it maintain the stability in the nature, the balance between nature and animal? Whether we are going to affect this balance, this connection between organisms, the nature and the other animals, by artificially introducing organism into nature. So this is why we have to conduct this experiment in designing biology, changing biology in very ethical manner, and we have to consider the safety of organisms as well as ourselves. Right, the synthetic biology therefore progresses. So we want to discuss the topic in this particular area more than in any other area. Whether you design, the biology you design is safe for our organisms, safe to environment and humanity. And biosecurity, think about certain things you can do with synthetic biology, that you can change the information in viruses like organism, and then you can make it spreading fast than the current ability of spreading. You can enhance the ability to spread the virus, which means you can make it a weapon to attack some organism and wipe out that organism. Right. So whether you should do that, whether you should misuse this technology in order to come up with adverse impact on humanity. So that's why we have to think about biosecurity aspect as well. Bioweapon is one of the emerging topic in synthetic biology, which is not ethically very much very much recognized, but it's doable that we can edit information in viruses and then let it spread fast, which means you can basically come up with a weapon that attacks other organisms. Therefore, biosecurity matters when it comes to synthetic biology topics. Right. And then you learn ethics under synthetic biology, because you have to make sure the creations that you come up with in synthetic biology would not affect the humanity and also the environment, other organisms, the nature in adverse manner. Right. So let's have a chat on the future of synthetic biology as well. What sort of emerging applications? Synthetic biology we will learn later. It's also a multidisciplinary subject area where you have the fundamentals in biological science as the core, and then you try to incorporate other subject knowledge like engineering knowledge, computational science knowledge, mathematical science knowledge. Even you can consider your creative thoughts in other areas, like you learn something in arts, economical science, those things, whether you can apply them in biology to come up with new organisms and make organism which helps the humanity. So now with the development of AI tools, right? We can develop new organisms. We can let AI tools to think about new biological systems that we can develop, which will help the humanity. Or we can think about to come up with entirely novel functions in biological system, which means you let the AI tools to think and create a new organisms that later we can introduce into environment. So integration AI tools. There are tools recently introduced tools with AI powered tools. If I mention one or two tools, guys, there's a tool called Evo2, recently introduced by the NVIDIA company, which is one of the giants in tech industry. So this tool can actually read genomic information in databases, and it's very much intelligent in order to understand how our existing life work by reading the DNA. And then it can write their own genomes, this particular tool, to design new biological system. Basically, you can write alien genomes with these tools like NVIDIA's Evo2. And there are tools like AlphaFold, which predict how proteins can fold into certain patterns in biological systems. And machine learning is also another emerging area, and even the quantum biology. The quantum theories in quantum physics can be applied in biological systems in order to understand how DNA can be changed. So by integrating knowledge in these areas, we can enhance our ability to design new biological systems in synthetic biology. Right. Therefore, you can think about applicational area. We need fuel. So we produce our fuel by chemical method. So you can design a new biological system to produce bioethanol or the biofuels that we need, and certain attributes in agriculture. You improve plants by changing information in existing plant. You make your rice plant to resist the pests that attack the rice plant and destroy your crops. By expressing new proteins in rice plants or like rice leaves, we can make it resistant to certain pests that attack the rice plant. And you change the information in tea plant. You can change information in coconut plant. As Sri Lankans, you can think about it, and then make it resistant to certain conditions and produce more crops. Likewise, you can think about agricultural industry. Also in personalized, the medicine itself moved toward personalized aspects, which means the Panadol. Let's say you have a headache, you take a Panadol in order to recover from headache. But even if I take a Panadol, I won't recover with a single tablet of Panadol, which means my metabolism is different from your metabolism. I might need 2 Panadols to recover. So this is called, this is simple way to explain the personalized medicine. From person to person, their metabolic system is different and their genetic is different. So we have to personalize the uh, drugs we use in order to cure certain diseases. Also, in order to cure cancer-like condition, we can design new biological system, new cells can be genetically engineered in order to attack cancer cells and kill them. Likewise, there are such medicine-related applications. Right. So, likewise, the synthetic biology is a powerful subject area. You can apply the knowledge in synthetic biology in manufacturing new biological products. Or you can transform the existing living organisms to perform entirely new function. So if you learn the theories properly in synthetic biology and then practical aspects as well, you become the expert in designing new organisms in biology. That's what we call synthetic biology. Biologist as well. Right. Okay. Now think about future. This is a futuristic topic and emerging concepts are there. So idea is to learn the biology well, the concepts in biological science well, and understand the principles and the concepts in engineering and also computational science and merge them in order to engineer precisely biological system to perform accurate functions that we expect, right? So with this power, where would the life go? So that's the question when it comes to, because there are concepts in synthetic biology. One topic I would say, in order to battle the racism in the world, there are different ethnic groups and there are different nations. And currently the racism is a big issue. So how to tackle this problem? You can think about approach with synthetic biology, guys. So let's say now there are, I'm not, this is a small example only, guys. Let's say we we have brown skin as Asians, and we have black hair, and also we have certain features, unique features as Asians. Even Japanese people have different features. Koreans have different features. Europeans are different. They are white skinned people, and they have their features, way they behave different. But what would happen if we could engineer all these characteristics in human? Like you can change, if we get the tools to change the eye color or the skin color and the hair color, the level of intelligence in human, right? So this is a topic, emerging topic comes under designer babies. One day in future, you will be able to go to hospital and get your baby to born custom design with different colors of the skin, different intelligence level, and also the different height, different skill sets can be introduced by changing the information in DNA. Likewise, where would the future go? That's a very interesting question we have to ask in the topic of synthetic biology. Right. So that's a basic idea I wanted to share on synthetic biology, which is the current global scenario and what would be the future look like in synthetic biology. And then, so here I would like to share our program at elearning.tech as well, how we have defined a synthetic biology, a unique synthetic biology program to cater this knowledge, to transfer this knowledge real time from world to our students based in Sri Lanka and how to learn synthetic biology properly and find new ventures in synthetic biology as a biological science students, like biomedical science students, biotechnology students, how we learn this knowledge and apply it to become experts in this area, to find new opportunities, to explore new opportunities. So I designed this course at e-learning.kk in a very unique manner. You would not be able to access the same pattern of knowledge anywhere else in the world if you access a synthetic biology course, because this is custom designed for you all guys. Since this knowledge is new to us, I know how we have learned biology from our high school level as well. We used to memorize things, right? In our schools, high school level, and also in unis, we learn to memorize. If it's biology, there's no other way. You have to memorize all these things about DNA, about biological systems, anatomy, or about pharmaceutical drugs. So we are trained, we are programmed to memorize things. But it won't apply anymore in synthetic biology, because synthetic biology is all about designing, creating life. So we have to change our mindset. How we look at the biological system, we should change. So in our program at e-learning.lk, what I have done is I dedicated our first session of the program in order to kind of, I would say, brainwash you to learn how to look at the biological systems in different manner. Because synthetic biologists, right? Synthetic biologists are a unique group of scientists who look at the biological systems in a different manner. And you have to look at the biological system in a very creative eye. You always think about changes that you can introduce into biological system in synthetic biology, and see whether you can get a beneficial outcome done by a biological system by introducing these new attributes you design. Right. To do that, of course, you have to look at a biological system with an engineering mindset, because engineering is how you define as constructing, designing, programming, or you developing new systems. So we want to train our brain to look at the biological system with an engineering eye. Therefore, the keywords like modifying, programming, reprogramming apply here in living organisms. So we want to modify living organism, genetically modify living organism. We want to reprogram the existing biological pathways in living systems. So that's the idea in synthetic biology. So I dedicate my first session in our program in order to let you know how we could slowly transform from memorizing mindsets to engineering mindset, right? There are certain concepts to learn, to understand, and redefining and reinventing biological system. Another aspect. So you redefine existing biological pathways and you reinvent new biological functions in biological system. Above all, by introducing these changes, everybody, we have to respect the nature and work in harmony with the principles in nature, because you are playing with the components given by nature. Biological systems belong to nature. Of course, you can slightly make changes, but not to dismantle the entire system in nature, but to enhance, but to improve things, help humanity, help other organisms that coexist with us. So that's the idea. So we could say, who are synthetic biologists? So we as synthetic biologists require a unique, creative, and above all, responsible way of thinking and looking at the biological systems before we learn synthetic biology concepts. Right. this is a 1 month course we have planned at elearning.tk. So in first week, first session, I dedicate to actually to train you to think in synthetic biology. And also in the first session, we discuss how synthetic biology as a subject area evolved from our classical molecular biological topics, starting with molecular biology, fundamentals in molecular biology, where you learn about central dogma of life, and you later learn about recombinant DNA technology, which means how you can combine DNA from two different organisms and then produce new proteins, hybrid proteins, and how you can engineer biological system is the third era, where we bring a gene, entire gene that responsible for certain function existed in a different organism into another organism and let this gene to function inside of a new organism. So that's the idea in synthetic uh, genetic engineering. Okay, right. Okay, yes. Okay. So that's the idea. So give me small time to go ahead with the plan, how we were going through. Sanjay, you are around? Hello. Right. Okay. I'll quickly continue. Right. And then we learn basic concepts in synthetic biology that you haven't learned under biological science topics, the DBTS cycle in synthetic biology, and how you can look at DNA as bricks. We call the bio-brick concept in synthetic biology. And also the modular theory. Modular theory in the sense that you can annotate biological component or DNA with certain biological attributes and then you reuse them. So these are concepts concerned the engineering and how we can apply in biological systems. Right? Later we learn certain topics like genetic circuits, genetic logic gates. You learn logic gates in electronics, how you can logically conduct certain characteristics in electronics, how you can logically contrive genes in order to interact with each other. As a concept, you learn it as genetic logic gates in synthetic biology, and how genetic switches work, how you can design switches using DNA and protein-like components. And CRISPR technology you have heard, and how we can use the application in CRISPR in order to design new biological systems. And we learn about biological science databases like SynBioHub in order to see where you can store these design information in biological systems. And there are computational tools that you learn in synthetic biology, which are specifically, you can divide them into two types. Designing tool to design DNA components, SBO design alike tools you can learn in this program. And also you learn about new tools such as iBiosim, Copasi tool, which you can simulate, computationally simulate newly designed biological systems. And in our last sessions in the program, we will be learning how you can come up with health application, like you can reprogram immune cells in order to kill cancer cells. And also under agricultural application, we can genetically engineer plant in order to resist for certain disease conditions or for them to go under uh, drought conditions. Likewise, you can change the information in plant with real publications or the real scientific publication. We discuss the techniques that you can use in redesigning plants. And in finally, I use one of our publications that we have done research before on microorganisms in order to come up with environmental applications, such as reprogramming or genetically engineering biological systems, small bacteria to detect heavy metal. This is something we have done in Sri Lanka as well in our laboratories, and we learn how we have done with this designing aspect by engineering by engineering new bacteria, and also we have previously designed a new organisms like small fish, zebrafish like organisms to grow, genetically engineered zebrafish that you can use in detecting contaminated heavy metals in water sample, which means you introduce glowing protein producing genes into zebrafish like small fish genome. So this is also something we have done in Sri Lanka. So we can learn how we can actually do this, whether these kind of applications are possible or these are realistic by uh, through the journey in our program here. Right. Later, you can also, I have listed out about our course that if you are interested in joining, you get the certificate on short for this short course with verified the batches, and you get the research and innovation project opportunity to join the projects that we conduct, ongoing projects that we conduct, and we help you in directing your research idea towards startups, and also we can guide you all towards how to find postgraduate opportunities in this particular area as well. And I'm happy to share how the previous batch students express their thoughts on our program. If you go to LinkedIn, you can see some of these students have shared their experience in their first as the first batch. They were really they submitted their projects once they are done, and then they got they actually showcase the knowledge they gain throughout this program. I'm really happy to see how the students have uh, properly gained the knowledge in this niche area of synthetic biology, guys. So as completing the project, we assign you in a small project once you are done with the program, and then let you explore by yourself how you could find an answer for a real world problem via the knowledge you gain throughout our program. And I I go through your project proposals and see whether you have come up with any interesting ideas, and whether we can together explore the ability to bring it down to the real world applications. Right. Later, I see whether try to share the opportunity for you all to join with us and work even in future in interesting project related to synthetic biology we have initiated in Sri Lanka, partnering with certain institutions. Right. Okay. So that's it,
Okay,
guys.
so
Yeah.
shall I? Yeah, I will now tell you how you can participate in the upcoming classes. So let me just first go through how you can do that, and then if you have any questions, you can ask Lalinka or put it in the chat. But we prefer if you can unmute your mic and ask the questions right away directly. So this course will be starting from next week onwards. So it's basically the first day of October 1st we are starting. It's a 4 weeks course, 16 hours, and it ends on 29th of October, or maybe into the first week of November. And what we cover is basically all the things that you have discussed today. So foundations of synthetic biology, environmental and agricultural applications, healthcare and therapeutics, computational tools, and project design. And if I talk about a little bit about Dr. Lalinka's qualifications, obviously he's great as what he does. So he has a PhD in genetic engineering, MSc in molecular genetics, BSc in molecular biology and biochemistry, experienced educator in advanced biosciences, passionate about teaching the future of biotechnology with real world applications. And he has chosen e-learning to to do that. So I invite you to join the class next week, starting October 1st and ending late October or maybe first week into the November month. So the class is held 2 days per week. So it's 2 sessions per week, every Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9. Every Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. The medium will be English, and you will get unlimited access to class recordings. If you miss a class, you can easily access the recordings through our LMS, and you will have the and you will have that access even after 1 month of completing the course, because we have the time to do the assignment, and until your assignment is complete, we will give you access to the recordings. So normally it's about 1 month. And then you can stay connected with the teacher, instructor anytime through the private group that we are creating for you. So you can ask questions, put voice notes or anything, and Dr. Lalinka will help you out then and there. And all students who join live sessions get a participation certificate. After completing a practical final exam, you can earn a digitally recognized digital badge, which is a globally recognized digital badge, similar to ones you earn via Facebook Blueprint or University of Chicago, the same program that we are in. The same tool that we are using, so you can get the digital badge from that, so you can display it in your LinkedIn or maybe in your certificates, or you can have a QR code, so any employer or any future reference, they can just scan it and see what you have done through the course. So this is non-duplicatable, so that means it's a genuine certificate and nobody can fake it. So the digital badge is the one that is important. Participation certificate is just there to make sure that you have just participated in the course. So I invite you to join up for the next batch, this intake from October 1st onwards, and the fees. So I'm going to explain the fees now. The course fee is 25,000 rupees. The full course fee is 25,000 rupees, but there is a discount for you who are participating in the live session today. There's a 20% off if you are paying the full amount at upfront. So for a single payment of 20 for a single payment, you will get a 20% discount. So you will only have to pay 20,000 instead of the 25,000. But if you're unable to pay it in a single installment, then you can go for multiple installments, and we are giving you that opportunity. But then the fee will be 25,000. So if you are paying by installments, easy payment scheme, then it's going to be 25,000. But if you are paying at once, the entire full payment, then you will get a 20% discount, which will be at 20,000 rupees. And if you would like to get it through more than 2 installments, like 3 or 4 installments, you can approach us through the WhatsApp group, and we will give you option to do that. So you can pay via a different program, where you may be able to split the fee into 2 or 4 installments. So that's a separate thing. You can approach us if you have trouble paying. But again, I would encourage you to go for the full payment, which you get a 20% off. And you can pay through payment cards, bank transfers, debit cards, everything. There are 32 payment methods that you can come and join us. And also, I'm asking you to join the WhatsApp group, which is really important. So the WhatsApp group is basically where we communicate everything. So make sure that you are in the WhatsApp group. And so that's about it. So I hope to see you, most of you, enrolled in this course. 4 weeks, 16 hours, 2 sessions per week, starting October 1st. The full payment is 25,000. If you're paying advance, you will get 20% off for 20,000 rupees. So everything will be in the WhatsApp group. Now the links will be added to Zoom chat as well as the WhatsApp group. Also, final reminder from my side, there will be a poll coming up after I speak. Make sure you submit your vote and submit your opinions about today's session. So kindly do that, and I go back to Lalinka. And if you have any questions, now is the time to ask.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for quick explanation on our program. Yeah. So anybody, if you have any questions, you can ask. I'm actually very much excited to welcome our new batch in October with the second batch, which is the second batch, and explore how we can come up with strategies, together discuss new techniques in redesigning biological systems, which is a unique journey, guys. Right. So if you have questions, you can ask now, technical questions or anything, or I'm ready to start our second journey with the second batch, everybody. Yeah.
Unmute the mics and directly ask the questions, or you can use the chat if you have any inquiries, or we can wrap up today's session and hope to see you guys on the 1st of October.
Okay, then seems like I know you have a lot of questions, but we can later, yeah.
Yeah, we can wait about another 3-4 minutes, and if you don't have any questions, we'll wrap up today.
For sure, yeah, Sanjay. Okay.
And already a lot of people have said that they are going to join us, so hope to see you guys. Anyway, you can post the questions after the session in the WhatsApp group as well, so we will be there to answer. So then let's wrap it up. Either you have understood, I think you have understood all the things, so there are no questions remaining. And Dr. Lalinka has made excellent presentation. So we congratulate him, and we are congratulating you for the participation of this session. And let's see you in the class itself. Okay, take care, guys. Good night, and hope you enjoy the weekend, the coming week. And let's make a move on learning a new subject or new area in your already in whatever you're performing in terms of the realm of biology.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Good night.